What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. I am your host, TonageScorp, here with my co-host, Deception. Say hi.
What up?
This is episode number 65 of the Climb Together podcast. We've been kind of cranking these out recently. Just 2 more weeks until we're caught up on YouTube. So if you guys haven't already go over to the if you guys are watching this on YouTube or watching this live, go over to the YouTube channel. We're up to, I believe, at least 60 something. We're getting
Last one
down
I
to the,
saw was 60, I think.
yeah. So I think today's 61 at 4 p.m. EST. Um Hold on. Content. I'm checking currently. Yeah, the one today is episode 61 is what's going live today. So, we're getting there. We'll be caught up by Valentine's Day. So,
Yep.
I'm banging them out, okay? We're banging it out. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. All you gotta do is bear with me just a little bit longer. Just a little bit. So we have one big topic to kind of talk about today, and it's gonna kind of go off into some subtopics about some things that have been going on in the gaming world recently. Um, so pretty much like the question that we're kind of discussing today is esports dying? I've been seeing a lot of different things about it not being like a sustainable like job anymore, like for full-time employees, and like just a bunch of speculation um about like what all this means. And you guys know that I have been really like thinking about this and using like my business schooling to kind of like figure out what's happening here. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're really gonna go in depth on it and hopefully ease some minds or um
Yeah.
figure out something. But um yeah, so pretty much kind of to start, this is kind of what a lot like really like sparked a lot of this is like the layoffs happening at a lot of esports companies. And recently like Activision did a huge layoff um recently, like this past week.
Yeah, Microsoft laid off like 1,900 people, and that
Uh-huh.
doesn't even count the people at the CDL that got laid off
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah, the people at the CDL went from um a team of 72 people to 12, I think, if my memory
Yeah.
serves me right. 60 to 7, yeah, it was 60 people that got laid off.
All of the
Um
observers got laid off.
yeah. And it's so, which really it does suck. Um because, these people's livelihoods, and this is how they pay the bills, and
Well, I mean,
then
they worked a major one, not even knowing if they'd have a job or not
yeah,
afterwards.
by the
So,
time that, and they didn't, unfortunately. I mean, there could be a couple reasons why this is happening. There's a couple optimistic reasons, and then there's a couple pessimistic reasons. I kind of want to talk
yeah.
about the optimistic ones first, just because that's kind of the person I am when it comes to gaming. This is what I'm going to school for. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I like to have like a positive outlook and try to think that there's a better explanation for these things, especially with my business background. So, kind of what I've been speculating is that they're either like, I think they're definitely restructuring um, with like, uh, because, things have been not that great recently. So I think they're kind of just like stripping everything down to the bare bones as far as the company goes. Like all these companies go, they're stripping everything down to the bare bones, what they need, and then like managers and like supervisors and people that like are like the leaders, I guess, like the
Yeah.
starting points for these different teams and stuff like that, stripping it down to these individuals, either hiring new ones or firing old ones, trying to get everyone kind of on the same page as far as where they want to go. Because they did just hire, well, they did just promote, um, what is she? A new president.
They promoted multiple
No.
positions.
Yeah, so there's a new general manager, there's a new SVP, and there's a new chief technology officer at Activision. So they did a bunch of promotions, and my guess, um uh, yeah, so there's just um yeah, so there's a new president who is a woman, by the way. Big ups to the women in gaming. That's a win for us, just overall. Just want to shout out Joanna Ferries. Um, Thank you for making strides in gaming for us women.
Yeah,
And
she used to be the head of the CDL.
yeah, so this might be becoming kind of like started with these promotions. So my theory, based off of this, is they're promoting all these people because obviously something's not working, right? Something's not quite lining up, and they're like, okay, we need to figure something out, or we're gonna go under, or these different things are gonna go under, and so they did some restructuring on the managerial end, and they fired a whole buttload of people. Um, I'd like to think it was for good reason, and I hope that like when they go to the hiring process, they will hire those who they originally had working for them first. Because I genuinely think that they're just stripping everything down to the bare bones. You know, because one thing, money's tight right now. Like money's real tight everywhere. Um,
Yeah, and especially in esports where
Especially in
they were
esports.
paying people like way more than they probably
Mm.
needed to be paid.
And the thing is since esports is such a new industry, it's where we're gonna see the effects of the economy the worst or early on. Like if you look, I was talking with my partner Riz today about this. Um, so right now in the United States, 90% of credit card use is on groceries. So like people can't even afford their own groceries. They have to use credit cards to pay for their, food. So that kind of just shows you how shitty the economy is at the moment. And it's really showing up in gaming. Like it's just going to continue to get worse for a while. And it's just that's something that we can't control as a community is like it's nothing that that's something that's not really something that we can control because the economy is not like something that we have any control of because we're such a small industry compared to these bigger industries and we're not the government. So like especially in the United States,
Yeah.
which is a big hub for esports. um a lot of companies operate out of here. uh a lot of people compete here in the United States. I'm not quite sure the state of esports in places like China or other parts of Asia or Europe.
Seems like it's going pretty well over there.
Yeah, so like um obviously like I feel like a lot of this is like impacts from the economy, which is something that we just can't control as a community because that is something that's controlled by the government and like the Federal Reserve and like that kind of stuff. Do your own research on that. I took a couple classes in like microeconomics and stuff like that, macro. So you kind of learn about like how much the government plays into how the economy works and how the economy grows and or shrinks. So I mean, we did have a big boom, and now we're kind of like falling. Um, you know, there's a bunch of different things that I could get into about like how the economy is not doing great. Um, but it's that's a whole separate conversation, not for a gaming podcast. But anyway, so I feel like they're kind of just stripping back to what I was talking about. They're kind of just stripping down these organizations to pretty much the bare minimum that they need to operate on a day-to-day basis, and then kind of see where their financials land because um, it is January, February. So January, February, March is tax season, where all these accountants look through the books, they look through these like the financial statements for the year, kind of see what's going on. Um, because the way that accounting works in these big businesses is they have two different accounting departments. They have one short-term accounting department, which does estimations, pretty much just guesses how much money they're going to spend on what. And then the other financial department actually like takes the time and works through these things and actually sees how much money is being spent and where and how much money they're gaining or how much money they're losing. But they only do that like this stuff comes 2 months later after the actual thing happens. That's why they have the two departments, is because they can't just wait 2 months, to make a decision based on that kind of stuff. But now I feel like a lot of them are finally seeing the effects of that the economy is having on gaming as a whole, and they're starting to make these changes, and they're like, okay, we can't afford to have these many people on staff, so let's not like pick and choose, right now. Let's just get rid of all of them, save the money that we can save, um, and then figure out a game plan going forward.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I genuinely think that's what's going on there with that one, like, because the thing is like it's tricky because they want I know deep down they want esports to succeed, but at the end of the day the esports and these games can't succeed if there's nothing there. Like if their game goes under, their production company goes under, their esports team goes under, it's really hard to kind of like come back out from bankruptcy like that, like being like just being having to close your doors, because once you close your doors you can't, it's really hard to open them again. But if you strip down, the way the 100 Thieves is stripped down, a bunch of other different esports organizations have just stripped down their bones to the bare bones, of what the organization, oh my god, the organization needs to function on a day-to-day basis. It makes it easier, one, to save money. You save that money that you were spending on all these different teams, all these different editors and stuff like that. Yes, it creates more work for the people that are already there, but sometimes it's necessary to just keep the business going forward.
Yeah.
And especially with esports and gaming in general, like the people that are there want to be there. This isn't like some accounting firm or some financial whatever, some dead end 9 to 5 job. This is gaming. Like people that work in gaming are passionate about gaming. They want to be here, minus the boomers. They want to be here. They want to be here. They want to make this work, and they're going to put in the hours to do so. Like speaking from experience, like I've worked for free in esports for like 5 years, and I will continue to do so as long as it's needed, because I believe in this. I believe in the mission and where we could go and like what we can do. I mean, eventually I do want to get paid because like, you know, girls got to eat, but
Yeah.
like I
I
gotta
want
eat,
to
you
be
gotta
making money at some point.
yeah, like I gotta pay bills and shit. So
Esports is not a non-profit.
yeah. Um, so like, but I really just like I wanted to succeed, and I know a lot of people wanted to succeed. A lot of people that work at these esports organizations, they have like the passion for gaming and for esports. They wouldn't be there unless they didn't. I mean, sometimes, there's a select few that aren't, but like for the most part, people want esports to succeed, and that's why they, work in it and they work so hard at it. And so this could be a good thing, this could be a bad thing. I mean, obviously, like there's two different parts of it, because like the bad thing is like, all these people have lost their jobs, they've lost their livelihoods, they've been able to work in gaming for so long, and now they can't. They either have to, find some other place in gaming, or they have to go back to like other sectors of the world to find jobs in. And sometimes the skills that you have in gaming don't technically apply to other places, or if they do, they're not quite as normalized. Like every company should have a social media manager or a marketing manager, but not necessarily every company needs a like a observer, you know what I mean, for games. That's kind of like a
Yeah.
esports and sports exclusive job. So I think a lot of people, if they can't find jobs in esports, they're going to move over to traditional sports. just because that's pretty much um our closest like brother, I guess, in the business world is the sports world.
Yeah,
Cause the content is high, and especially now, like now these teams are like understanding like that content is playing a big role in success in businesses and teams and that kind of thing. They're now investing more and more time and money into it than they did previously. So, I mean, if you guys are, if anyone's listening that is been like laid off recently, due to these, like, economic issues, I highly suggest if you can't find a job in esports, go to traditional sports. That'll be your best bet. You'll still be able to do pretty much the same thing. Um, it might be a little bit harder entry, but you do have the experience. So, it might be your best bet going forward. So you don't have to work one of those boring dead end jobs.
that's true. I don't know. There's some people doing that.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you have to, I mean,
I
I
mean,
work at a
like
restaurant, so like it's not
some
like,
people do it and love it though. It's
yeah,
like
I don't know how that could not be me.
like Mox used to play. Uh, Mox used to be. Um, he was technically a pro, but he was never like super good.
Mm.
But like in the CDL, he mainly played in like challengers. But um, I saw a tweet last night where he now works as a server in a restaurant, but he like enjoys it. Like he is like he's obviously like stepped away from COD and stuff, but he actually is like is pretty happy.
I mean, don't get me wrong, servers make bank. I've served like you make good money as a server on like if you work at the right restaurant. You know what I mean? If you work at a shitty restaurant, then you're not gonna make anything. But you work at the right restaurant, you're gonna make big bucks, comparative to like what you could be doing
That's true.
elsewhere. And
It
but the
all
thing
depends
is,
on the business, probably how
yeah,
much you get paid.
yeah. Well, actually, servers they get paid shit. You get paid shit as a server. You make your money off tips, and so as long as you're good at what you do, you can make good money. But the thing is like, it's a very stressful environment. I worked in a restaurant since I was 17. It's a very stressful environment. People are rude as like rude because not only are like people normally rude, you get the people that are hangry. They're coming because they're hungry. They're coming to eat because they
Yeah,
need food. And people get
true.
hangry, and you deal with so many different Karens, and you deal with so many different stupid people. The amount of time that people call and are like, hey, are you guys open? No, we opened in 30 minutes. We closed 20 minutes ago. You know what I mean? Like, we're not open. If it doesn't say that we're open, then we're not open.
Bro, at that point, if it's like past opening or closing time, I wouldn't even answer calls.
No.
I should be like, nah.
Well, sometimes, so where I work, we do deliveries, and we take orders until 3 a.m. And after that, we don't take any more orders, but we have to, get the orders out that we have already made or that have already been put in and paid for. So our delivery driver will sometimes be going until 3:30, 4 o'clock. And so we will call and people will be like, hey, like, when is my order coming? And we're like, it's out, it's on its way, Or like people would be like, hey, like I have a pickup. Can I still come get it? Like, yeah, obviously just be here before whatever time. This is when we're, getting the fuck out of here. You ordered this like an hour and a half ago. Because we deal with drunk people, like drunk people don't,
Oh yeah.
drunk people, and they're drunk college kids, you know what I mean? Like, they're not the brightest of the bunch already as college kids. Like, college kids, they're like book smart to the max. When it comes to street smarts, out the freaking window. Out the window. You put them in the classroom, they do amazing. You put them out in the real world for like 5 seconds, and they're like, what?
I don't know what to
Yeah.
do.
Like, oh my god, it's crazy. Anyway, but I don't know. That's my advice. I don't know what else. I got lost. I went on a tangent and I got lost. I do that a lot though on this podcast. But all in all, I don't think esports is dying. I think the economy is kind of going to crap, and we just kind of have to like hunker down.
I will say like um a big point of contention and like why I think some people are pretty scared about the layoffs from like the game perspective is like the problem is like Microsoft basically did the same thing with 343 and Halo, and they basically laid off a bunch of people just to hire the same people back for like a little bit of time and then let them go again, or like they basically it'd be like them hiring contractors, and
Hmm.
it basically is most of the reason why Halo Infinite never has had like a ton of content and why it's like so sluggish in like every aspect.
Yeah, but hiring contractors cheaper than salarying someone. That's the thing.
Yeah, but then it hurts the game. So it's like, what if this happens to COD and they're saving money, but then it's hurting the game already and the game is hurting
I mean, the
itself?
game is like already on the shitter, and so I don't know. I think the thing is like for the next year or so, it's gonna be the paid and the business side of esports is gonna be rough. It's gonna be if if you're working in esports full time, you're gonna have to get a part time job because esports is gonna go part time, and it's nothing that like esports are drawing. Like we've talked about this, like the rise and fall of esports because of the pandemic and like that kind of thing. And now like the economy is really bad in the United States, which affects everywhere. Like as much as I like like the United States is one of like like it's a global superpower, comparative to like other like it can do a lot. A lot of things are produced here, a lot of things are imported, exported. So when the United States is struggling, it like kind of like ripple effects into other countries. So right now we're just kind of seeing the effects here now,
Yeah.
and the thing is like since esports is so small and so new, it's easier to see them there. Like we're not going to see them in these bigger like companies until a little bit later. Like
Yeah, there's a
esports.
lot of companies that are still making a lot of profit, but
Oh yeah.
esports is kind of going down.
Yeah, those companies will suffer pretty soon too. I could go into a whole thing about this and like capitalism or whatever, but like, like the real estate market is one of like the one of the places where you can kind of like see if the market, like if the economy's kind of going pretty bad because people aren't buying and selling their houses that much. They want to kind of hold that on that money. They don't want that uncertainty. They don't want that mortgage payment every month without knowing like what's gonna happen. So in the from what I've heard, the real estate market is pretty wishy-washy currently. It's not booming like it was a couple years ago. Um, so but that's just how the world works. The economy goes in cycles. It's a constant cycle of, you know, uh economic boom and then economic recession and then like peacetime and depressions and that kind of thing. That's just how the economy always has worked and it's always will work. It's just a cycle. It just that's what it does. Goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. Can stay up, can stay down. Um but like with people not being able to like afford things, video games are kind of like the last thing on their mind. They want to be able to, pay their
Yeah.
bills, pay, get groceries. Like the thing that I brought up earlier is like 90% of credit is on groceries. Like if you can't afford your groceries, you're not gonna go buy a $70 video game. You know what I mean? Like, or if you already own the game, like you're not gonna spend like hundreds of dollars on skins, or like tens, like like you're not gonna buy like a $10 skin. Like you're not. It's just not how it's gonna go.
That also brings up the question: what if, because Halo Infinite was multiplayer was free, what if COD goes free to play? That'd
If
be pretty
COD
good.
if COD goes free to play, I think it'll help the game. It's not gonna much. It'll get more people playing the game as much as I don't know if it's gonna help like sales. I don't think it's gonna help. You know what I mean? I don't think more people
I
are
don't
going
know.
to spend money on the game per se, but I feel like more people would play it.
I feel like it probably would help sales in the long run. They just wouldn't see those Q4 sales like they do.
Yeah.
The sales would come from people buying skins, but the thing is like people would be more inclined to buy skins if it's a free game. Like that's why
Or
Fortnite
like the
makes
battle
so
pass.
much money.
Yeah.
Is like because it's already a free game, so it's like I might as well just spend money on skins, so I didn't have to spend money on the game.
Yeah, but
It's the
Warzone's
same
free to
thing with
play.
it's the same thing with like X Defiant. Is um like COD has like $20 skins. And I'm like, yeah, that looks really cool. I'd really like to have it, but I mean, I already spent $70 on this game. When X Defiant comes out, like if there's a cool skin, like I'm buying it, 100%.
Well, the thing is like, Activision has called like Warzone. Warzone's free to play. You know.
Yeah, but Warzone isn't part of the full like Call of Duty like landscape.
It's true. But
Like, there's a lot of people that play Warzone, but like there's also enough people that already pay for COD that aren't gonna buy skins.
mhm,
Like if people played exclusively Warzone, they'd probably buy more skins than if they bought the new COD every year.
it's true. And you do
I
have
mean, if
indeed
I
have a point.
only played Warzone, I probably would have a lot more skins because I would have bought some because I wouldn't be paying for the new COD every year. But I pay for the new COD every year, so I'm like, bro, like I already spent so much money on this game.
Yeah. Oh, it is what it is, I guess. I I really could keep going on this. I just the thing is like I think we just have to kind of hunker down until, like someone in the government can do something with the economy. Uh, because it's not just Call of Duty. I mean, this is the first we're seeing it in like a game development company, but like we've been seeing it in
It
esports
started
team,
hitting in
like
like
the
esports
esports
and stuff
orgs.
like last year.
Yeah, like these esports
I'd
orgs have
probably
been
say
doing
like
mass layoffs. Like
probably
there's
say like
only
8 9 months ago is when it started.
yeah, and there's only like a handful of people that work at TSM now. Like TSM, like this is one of the bigger esports organizations that have been around for
And
quite
they
a
basically
while.
like represented NA esports and all of these other esports that were dominated by EU and APAC. Like
Yeah,
they were basically the representation of NA.
and now there's only like 7 or 8 employees from what I've heard.
Yeah,
Like
that's rough.
which is crazy. This just like a testament to show like that it's not this isn't something that we can per se avoid. It's kind of already like it's already happening. Like it's already
I mean, you look at the stuff in the CDL. Like, I mean, even though we haven't heard a lot about like Vegas Legion struggling or whatever, I'm sure they don't have any more employees than they had before.
no
At least more than like maybe like a couple more.
maybe
And like LAG basically is running on a skeleton team. They have been since last year. So
yeah. It's gonna hit the weaker places first, and like the fact that it's hitting like places like 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves is still like a relatively new team. Like they've only been around for like 5 years. People don't remember that. It may be like
yeah,
a big superpower, but that's just because they had a bunch of investors and they were able to, catapult off of like
yeah,
the
their climb only started like in like 2017, 2018. They
yeah.
weren't really like
They just
the
hit their
company
5 year.
started the company started I think in like
It was
20 like 16, but like it wasn't much more than just a
an
random
ID.
COD team that played for like a little bit and they
The
didn't even really make
la
merch or
I'm
anything.
pretty sure last year or the year before was when they had their 5 year anniversary. And the only reason why they catapulted it up so fast was because of like Nate Shot, like having the connections that he
Yeah, he helped
had,
a lot. Well,
and
he got the investment from Drake and Scooter
uh-huh.
Braun, which helped a lot.
Yeah, like
He has good
those
people on his team that are really good at running a business, but they
yeah,
also understand esports.
yeah.
So,
And
like,
like he has like
they,
he like knows people. He has like
yeah,
this following that he's built in the Call of Duty scene, in the esports scene, and he has these connections and like he was already like a pretty well-known like, content creator and competitor. So like when he started his own org, like he had those things to kind of like boost him up quicker. Like he was able to just he didn't have to start from completely nothing. Like he had the following. He just had to build everything else. And that, but the thing is like since they're still a relatively new business, and they're still kind of learning themselves, about how it's working, like it's not going to be as sustainable as like Optic is right now per se. You know what I mean? Like Optic's still like kind of doing okay. Like I'd say like we haven't really like heard anything about them. I mean, they're definitely next, unfortunately. And like, FaZe is gonna hit a bunch of layoffs here soon, but that's just because they're being bought out, and FaZe Banks is gonna be the CEO, and he's already like said in like a clip with like Aiden Ross that he's gonna be like chopping heads left and right. So like, um, there was a period of extreme growth for esports and gaming in general, during the
Yeah.
pandemic, and and
It's because like esports had no issues with just going on because
mm,
they could go online anyways. It's like whatever.
people were realizing like the potential, behind esports because there was nothing else to focus on. And people are like, this is the next, everyone was hyping it up, hyping it up, hyping it up, hyping it up. And now that like, it's been like those 3-4 years since everyone's made these investments and they're not like getting their return yet, they're getting upset because they were guaranteed a 3-year return, or a 2, 3, 4 year return, and they're not getting it. Now they're like, what the heck? It's one of those things, is like a lot of it plays into the investment area, like aspect of it all, is like all these investors thought that they were, gonna get, these this was gonna be the best investment ever in their life, which I still believe it is. It's just not as short term as they thought it was going to be. So,
There just
um,
has to be some of them that gets it back on track. Um, which sadly it might have to come to just the entire economy turning around before they
yeah.
actually get back on track.
Oh yeah. Like that
But
that's
we'll
kind of
see.
like the main thing. I feel like we can do as much as we can to try to we just got to try to stay alive. What we have to do as a community, I think our best bet is just stay alive. Keep things going, try to keep our companies afloat. When the money's there, people will come back. But people can't come back if there's nothing to come back to. You know, we can still create content. Um, we can still, you know, entertain. We can still compete. It's just not gonna be as it's not gonna be as profitable as it has been in the past. Uh, but I feel like we can get to that again. I don't think esports in and of itself is going to die, as long as um people just hunker down for a little bit, do what they need to do to keep their companies afloat, and to keep things going. Um, pay their debts if they can, and then once the economy goes on the upturn, we'll be back in full swing. Just come back and then bring people back into it, cause as long as gaming's a thing, people are gonna be invested in it. It's not something that just goes away. Like people always talk about, oh, I used to play this game, forever ago, and now I'm a developer on it. Like people aren't just gonna stray away from gaming and stay away from gaming forever.
True.
Especially those that are really passionate about it. If they need to take a break, they'll take it. But I don't know. I feel like people should be a little bit more like on the business aspect. I feel like they should be a little bit more transparent because people are getting scared, and people that are scared never. Uh, People that make decisions based on being scared, it's not always the best decision. When it comes to business, that's what causes different things because people are like, well, why are they, firing all these people? Should I be worried about losing my job? Like, am I going to lose my job? Should I just leave now and get a new job? Should I look for another job? Like, there's so many different things. So, yeah, that's, I think, my 57 cents on his esports
Yeah,
dying.
you kind of carried that part because I really don't. know anything about it. I just have looked at what's happened. I've been like, okay.
All right. Yeah. Um,
We walk different
I
paths.
definitely don't think that that's the end of it. As far as layoffs go, there's definitely going to be more. Um, but we can definitely come back from it though. We're not gonna die. We might, shrink a little bit. Things might not be as, glamorous and glorious as they once have been. People are gonna have to shove down their egos, take a pay cut, especially players. Um, um, and players, if you're upset about your pay cut, invest in the content heavily. Uh, especially on the off season, learn those skills on the off season.
Dude, like look at people like Cold Havoc. He's turned into like one of the top like 5 most popular like
Mm-hmm.
COD players as far as content goes.
Yep.
Because he really just like he was stuck in challengers all last year and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna start doing content.
Mm-hmm.
And he's killing it. He blew up.
Yep. On the off season, for these professional gamers, whenever your off season for your game is, um, get into the editing software. Make some videos, stream when you can.
Dude, if you're like a CDL player, just freaking pay an editor. You make like the minimum CDL salary is like 50,000, so
Yeah,
like you have more than enough money to pay an editor.
exactly.
Or
Um,
like even with some of the bigger teams, like if you're on Ultra or NYSL or something, I'm sure they got content people you could work with.
oh, for sure.
Like there are
So,
a lot of players that just don't capitalize on the content. It's like why?
mm,
Like you can make so much more money you're already making.
yep. And so when those salary cuts come into play, you're like, all right, cool.
I mean,
You're gonna have to.
it's like Scrappy. Like Scrappy started making content. Like
Yeah,
I didn't even know he started making content, but I got recommended a video of him playing 2K with Dashy and Pred and Shotzi, and I was like, he's making YouTube videos now.
yeah. People are just gonna have to like, um, people are just gonna have to like shove down their egos. They're gonna have to take one for the team and um, just kind of like suck it up for a while. I think another big thing that might help is all these companies moving out of expensive places like LA. That's just immediately hurting them. I know LA is kind of like the place to be when it
Yeah, I
comes
don't
to
know why people want to
collaboration.
go to LA,
When it comes to collaboration, that's like the place to be. I get it, but it's
but that could be a thing though.
expensive.
Like you just fly out for a couple days and come
Yep,
back to
yep,
wherever you live. Like you don't
yep.
have to live in LA and suffer with the cost of
You
living
know
just to
what? Yeah, like you
collab with
literally
people.
do what they did in the old days. Buy a house, right? Buy a house in a town, cheap, 300 grand for a house, right? It's definitely way less than your $1 million operation you got going on there. Buy a house, grand, 300 grand, right? Make that house. You can split it. You can get a good basement where you can have your team compete. You can have offices in the bedroom. Like these things can happen. You just got to be creative enough. And I know these people are creative enough because they're in gaming and you have to be creative to get up to the top, especially in esports. You have to
I
think
just
differently.
I just think that like for anybody that's doing esports, I don't know why you would go to LA when you could just go to Texas. Like
You can
basically,
go
like
to,
everybody's in
I mean,
Texas.
yeah, like Texas is a good place for collaboration right now too. Find these like cheap, hold on.
I don't
Let's
know if the stats are the same now because obviously, like the players, like in the player pooling COD has changed and stuff. But I remember back in like Cold War, like I think like 70% of the league lived in Texas. Like,
Okay. Okay, ready? Mississippi is the cheapest state to live in the US.
yeah, I don't know why anybody
All
would
right.
want to live
So,
there, but
I don't know, but it's the cheapest place to live. So if you're really struggling for money, Mississippi, right? There's not a lot to do, but all right, 10 the cheapest states to live in. Hold on, there's an ad.
I know West
There's
Virginia is in there.
Mississippi, Kansas, Alabama, Oklahoma, Georgia, Tennessee, Missouri, Iowa, West Virginia, and Indiana.
What?
These are the 10 cheapest places to live in the United States of America. Pick one, gaming, pick one, and move there. You know, these states, United States is big enough for all of us, okay? We can all just pick up. LA is probably the same size. Like, you could easily fit everyone that's living in LA in the gaming industry into one of these other states. Easily. And you know what? It'll probably take the same amount of time to travel from each other because you won't have to sit as much traffic. Especially in places like Mississippi, Kansas, and stuff like that. Like these middle of
Dude,
freaking nowhere
that's
places
the
to
thing is,
live.
like, if you lived in somewhere like Las Vegas, like, it's probably like a 2 or 3 hour flight to LA.
Hmm.
Whereas driving like 20 miles in LA probably takes the same amount of time.
Exactly. Exactly. So, like, just do it. Gaming, we just gotta take one from the team here. Get out of LA. You know what I mean? You're gonna be able to. The amount that it takes. So, say you live on like one side of LA and you work on the other side of LA, right? It'll probably take you the same amount of time to get there as it would to travel across one of these states. All right. It takes me 2 hours to get from the most southern part of New York to one of the most northern part of New York. 2.5 hours if I don't go fast.
Dude, that's crazy.
Okay, that's from one of the most from the southern part of New York to Lake Ontario. Okay, the bottom of Lake Ontario. It takes like 3 to 4 to get to from the most southern part of New York State, all the way, minus the city, because the city has like shit traffic. That's a whole different part of the state. Okay, I'm talking upstate. So in
My
upstate,
lord, I would not want to live in Hawaii. You see that? It's a 193 on the index.
ugh,
That might be
why?
worse than LA.
Yeah. Yeah, Mississippi's got an 86 on the index score. With a median single-priced family home of 140,000. Okay, $140,000 for a house. Okay, how much houses in LA? All right, we'll go to True Line Realty. Okay, this is where we're going for this. Okay.
Oh lord.
First one, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, $2,248,000. It's 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet, $825,000.
Those are good looking houses though. I mean, they might not be
Okay,
quite worth that much, but I'm pretty
ready?
sure if you look at houses in Mississippi, the
Right.
houses for like 140,000 are not
Let's
gonna
go to
look this
Zillow.
good.
We're gonna go to Zillow. Okay, we're gonna go to Zillow. This is ready. Okay, we're gonna go.
This houses look pretty good.
Hold on, I'm gonna take this off the screen real quick because it's showing like my home state. Okay,
Good job.
thank you. Okay, where do you want to go? Let's go to Mississippi. Mississippi.
I'm telling you,
Mississippi
you're gonna get a bunch of stinkers for homes when you look at Mississippi.
for a sale. Mississippi. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Buy homes. And we'll go. Okay. Town in Oregon. Okay, since we'll go to Oregon because I accidentally typed in Mississippi, Oregon. Don't worry about it. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths is half the price, and it still looks like a good home. Half the price as it would be in LA. Okay, and it still looks like a nice home, and it's got an extra bathroom, and it's got just as much square footage, like twice as much square footage.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
So like that, not only is the house bigger, but it's less expensive. It's in the middle of nowhere, so you won't have to worry about like people like, coming to your door. It's got a big lot, so you can do a lot of things outside. Recent built, 2002, 20-year-old house. Large deck, natural setting, newly updated bath, new paint. Like, this is a good ass house, okay? And it's it had recently had a price cut, okay? And it's half the amount that a house, buying a house, okay? If you rented a house, say we'll go to for rent, apply. 1,000, 1,500 a month. You know? 2 beds, 2 bath.
Ooh, that pool looks nice.
Yeah, 1,500 a month. You know what these are probably in LA? Double a month. That's probably each. All right.
I love how they abbreviated bed as BD. Like they're all you have to do is put an E.
I know,
And you're
it's
good.
like the ultimate laziness. It's like I don't know how to spell bed, so I'm just gonna bed's too long. Let me just put BD. I don't want to go up and do the E. That's right above D, by the way, on the keyboard.
Dude, don't let me see them. Don't let me see them pronounce. Don't let me see them abbreviate bath as BTH, bruh.
Pretty sure bath is just BA. I'm like 90% sure. Yeah, bath is BA. And
BTH or the maniac.
then BTH. And square feet is SQFT, but that's normal for maths.
Yeah, it's fine. I
But
just
yeah.
think it's really funny that they couldn't just spell bed.
But yeah, that's 4 bedrooms, you know. Oregon, you know, they still have some like $1 million homes, right? But for the same quality you're getting, okay, I found a 5-bedroom, 3-bath. Guess how much? And this is in Oregon, right? So not too far from LA, not a far move. Still on the West Coast.
5-bedroom, 3-bath.
Yeah. In Oregon.
$800K.
$569,500. 26,000 square feet. Okay.
26,000 square feet is a lot for a house.
Yeah. And then these a lot of these homes have like big yards too. Like you could definitely like set something up like they did in the Optic house and back in the Scuff house or whatever, you know. Like they could
True.
definitely set up some content in the backyard. You know what I mean? Like the opportunities are endless, and I feel like some companies need to start thinking, "Hey, we need to move location. This is getting too much. I know, you know, our main base is we're all gonna have to move or whatever, but like even if they need to go like fully remote and get rid of the office for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like
Imagine if everybody just moved out of LA. That'd be crazy. Imagine LA's like not the most popular spot anymore.
it's so expensive. It can't be, not in this economy. The way the
True.
prices, like the way the prices are for living, like the cost of living right now is insane. Anywhere it's insane. But especially in these major cities, like New York is New York City, absolutely freaking wild. Even upstate New York, it's expensive. Next year for rent, I'm paying $650 a month just for my half. Right? And there's 2 of us, so we pay like $1,300 a month.
Wait,
To live in.
You're only paying $650 yourself.
I'm paying $650 myself. We're paying $1,300 a month for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment.
You know what's crazy?
That's like run down, rinky dinky.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? Like,
you know what's crazy? You're paying $1,300 a month for that apartment, and you're paying $650 just for you. Just your half is more than Erica's having to pay for a rent for her new home.
Yeah, and that's like, and mine's on the cheap end. Like mine's on the cheap end, and it's still like, cause I work like 20 hours a week. Right, minimum wage for New York is like 15 an hour. I make a little bit more than that because I'm a manager, so I make like $1 more than minimum wage, and that's like 3 weeks of my like pay is my rent. If I work 20 hours a week, it's 3 weeks of my pay. That's not including groceries. That's not including like toilet paper, detergent, stuff like that. Like it's not including any of that. Car, phone bill. That's not including. Luckily, we got one of the few apartments in the town that have utilities included. That's why, like,
Yeah, that might be part of the cost.
that is part of the cost, but like, it's still like on the cheaper end of rent.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of these places are 650 plus utilities. You know what I mean? So like, and we all have like, most people have like slumlords who just don't care. They live in like another state and they just like hire a landscaping company to like mow the lawn and shovel the driveway. But like, I'm complaining, but it's not as much as like I'm not grateful. It's more of like I have a phone bill to pay every month, right? I have my own phone plan. We have to pay for internet, and in the middle of nowhere, you have to have good internet because you step outside your door, your internet's shit.
I know about that.
Deception knows about that one. You know, you have to drive 5 minutes in a dead zone just to get to where you live. You know, so you have to have good internet, especially when you're a student these days because everything you do is online.
Yeah, you wouldn't imagine the amount of places that I like before getting there. I have to text Eric and be like, okay, service might be spotty, so I might be replying slow.
Yeah. Be like, hey, you know, going to the grocery store. I'm gonna be 15 minutes in a no service zone. See you when I get
Yeah, and
there.
then you get in the freaking building and you're like toward the back
You-
of the building and you don't even get service in there. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah. You walk into a building and your phone just like lights up with notifications because it finally like gets some sort of service. You're like, oh, hello. It's like for the people that don't understand this, like if you've ever turned your phone on after it being dead, you know what I mean, for a while, like for a few hours your phone's been dead, or like overnight your phone's been dead and you turn it on and your phone just blows up with notifications. That's what it's like living in the middle of nowhere in the United States. Is like you walk into a store that has like internet, you that Wi-Fi that you have to connect to. You have to know the password. You have to know somebody to connect to the password in the Walmart because there's still no service in the Walmart type deal.
Dude, you know that's a whole side topic. But you talk about people's phones being dead. I don't understand how people can just leave their phone dead overnight, bro.
Oh, I can.
If my phone gets low on battery, I have to charge it.
No.
Some people, their phone just dies and they're like, yeah, it's whatever.
Well, that's the thing though. Is like, well, Riss and I weren't living together. My phone would always be charged. Now my phone's like always dead because I don't talk to anybody else. Like, if I want to talk to you, I just hop on my computer. Like, I'm a homebody. I'm home all the time. Like, and if I don't go anywhere with my if I go anywhere, like, the only time I left my phone dies after a late night in the shower. Period, Jason. Same. But and then like at school, like I carry my backpack with me everywhere. I have my laptop. Like the only people I can talk to without my phone. Riss, I talk to in
That's
person.
kind of true.
So like, you know, it's one of those things. It's like I don't need it.
It's kind of true. I just do all kinds of stuff on my phone.
I don't. I'm not a phone
Like,
person.
I don't use my PC for like talking to people on Twitter or like messaging
I
people on Discord. I
use
use
my
my phone
PC
for
for
like
everything.
messaging.
I use my PC for everything. Oh, excuse me. Like Discord gets signed out on my phone so much because of how little I use it. But I use Discord every single day. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
I just think it's funny how people can't fathom that I don't use my PC to like message people on Twitter or tweet or use Discord, and I'm just like, I didn't have a PC forever. I did all that stuff on my phone, so I still just do everything on my phone.
Yeah. See, the thing is I've always had like a computer or something. Like I bought a computer for myself like when I was like 10. I like saved up money from doing chores and stuff like that and bought myself a computer. So like ever since then I've always had one. 'Cause like you know me, I was the YouTuber, you know. Early YouTube
Yeah,
needed a
those
computer.
240p Disney vlogs,
Oh yeah. No, the ones before those ones. The ones before those ones too. Like my old freaking
the
BO2
Black Ops
class.
2.
Yeah, the big BO2 class setups and like the Minecraft like PvE where I'm playing with my cousin and my voice is lower than his because neither one of our voices had dropped yet. Like so
That's
I
funny.
should get my cousin in a YouTube video with me again. He probably wouldn't though because he's got too much of an ego now. He plays baseball, you know, he's got his buddies and he's got too much of an ego to make YouTube videos with me anymore. Because he's just so cool.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Cause like, bring it back Minecraft Monkey and Minecraft Buddy 23. Like his voice actually sounds like a man's voice instead of like a squeaker. Like, except for he plays like 2K a lot, so and like I'm at Madden.
I
He's
can
not
get down with
and
2K.
Fortnite. He plays a lot of Fortnite.
Oh, you should play Fortnite with him.
I should play Fortnite with him. No, I gotta
That'd be
play a
good
game that I'm
content.
good at so I can carry him. I gotta prove some things. So, but alas.
Well, I know it's like, I know we've been already going on the podcast for a while, but we do have another big topic to talk about.
Okay.
COD, Activision finally addressed skill-based matchmaking.
Oh yeah, they did. Hold on, can you send? I'll just use what you sent me. For the screen. Okay. So I'm gonna read this out to you guys for those of you that are just listening. This is from Activision. Our data shows that when lower skill players are consistently on the losing end, they are likely to quit matches in progress or stop playing altogether. This has an effect on the player pool. A smaller player pool means wait times for matches increase, and connections may not be as strong as they should be. This can compound over time to create a spiral effect. Eventually, when only high skill players remain because lower skill players have to quit out of frustration, the result is an ecosystem that is worse overall for everyone. Which I feel like is kind of fair. But it's just kind of like,
I sent you all the other stuff that they
so pretty much it was just
Charlie
like,
helped it out.
so Mr. Raffle Waffles kind of like went on a little bit. So his like his result, like what he kind of got from this was like less SBMM means low skill players quit and high skill players don't quit. More SBMM means low skill players don't quit and high skill players still don't quit. It's no wonder they have such strong SBMM. Y'all complaining about it are mad on Twitter, but y'all are so addicted to the damn game and you play it anyway, so why the fuck would they change anything? Which means they basically wrote a whole blog post to tell high skill players to go try touching grass if they actually want SBMM removed. Which I feel like is fair. Like if we want SPMM taken out so bad, just don't like boycott the amount that boycotting the game would do to improve the game. You know what I mean?
That's why I haven't I haven't been actively trying to boycott COD or anything, but like that's why I haven't been playing the game a lot. Like obviously like last year with the MW2 is more than just skill-based matchmaking. It was that the game was horrible.
In general.
But skill-based matchmaking has just gotten so bad that I just have since Cold War, like I've probably played the least pubs I've ever played in COD. Like I just do not like play a lot of pubs. Like it's fun for the first like couple months, and then like there just hits a barrier like at the start of the new year when COD comes out where it's just horrible. And it's just not fun for the rest of the year until the new game comes out. And like even this year, like I've been playing ranked and stuff, but I haven't played like a whole lot of pubs since like Christmas. Like I just like it's just not fun. Now, if they do crack down on like good players getting in sweaty lobbies, I do think it would make skill-based matchmaking more tolerable.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be a little bit more fun. Like if the hardest you ever had to try was because somebody was kind of as good as you and you just had to try a little bit to beat them, and that's the hardest game you're ever going to get in a night, that probably would be a lot better than every single game you feel like you're just dying all the time.
Yeah. And like thing is too is like kind of going to like X Defiant and using their kind of skill-based matchmaking thing is like a reference. Like only like super low level players get skill.
Yeah,
like there's like a
that's ideal.
there's
Ideal.
two different like sections of being able, being a player. There's like
And
You're either brand new
because
or you're
like
not.
because X Defiant's gonna have a welcome playlist that does have skill based matchmaking, I'm actually when the game comes out, I'm gonna try it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to see what they do with skill based matchmaking because I would love to see like what their interpretation is versus COD's.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, after you hit level 25, you cannot play in the welcome playlist anymore, and you will not have skill based matchmaking in regular playlists.
Yep.
Um,
Which I feel like is pretty
so
good. So it gives people like the option to.
depending on how fun or unfun it is, depending on what their skill based matchmaking looks like, I probably will play the welcome playlist till like level 25 just to like test it.
Hmm.
And then like I'm going straight back to the actual like good playlist that
Well,
don't have any
you
skill based
can't
matchmaking.
you can't play in it anymore either way.
I'm just saying, like, I probably if it's not half bad, I might play it to like level 25. But I have a feeling it'll be more like, yeah, I'll just try it for a few games, and then when it gets bad, I'll just play in the no skill based matchmaking. But I mean, if they actually do some work, like the problem with all of these articles is like it basically just makes it doesn't really make a lot of sense because they say a lot of things and it doesn't line up with testing that has been done and anecdotal evidence of what has been happening. It just
Yeah.
is not like the stuff that devs are saying is not lining up with what we're seeing in game. Um, but if they do some stuff to correct that, and if they tweak the matchmaking to make it a bit better on the player's end, I think it actually like wouldn't be that bad.
Hmm.
It would probably be pretty tolerable dealing with skill based matchmaking. The problem is the two problems with skill based matchmaking is one, right now it's way too heavy.
Hmm.
Uh, and two, they're probably never just going to outright remove it. That would be the ideal situation. That's probably just not going to happen.
Yeah. You do indeed have a point. It's just it's one of those things that like I don't think Call of Duty ever like Activision in general like they're not gonna stray away from it. I mean people are still playing the game. It's they're kind of like stuck in their own ways on this one. They're like well this data and they have I feel like they have more accurate data than we do. Um
The only problem is it doesn't, they don't, like, I don't know what they're trying to do, but like what they're saying just isn't lining up with what happens. Like, yeah, their data, they have good data probably, but they're saying stuff like ping is still the most important factor in matchmaking when clearly like tests with like people using bot accounts versus people using high skill accounts and stuff have shown that that's just not true.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like they have the best data. I just don't think they're interpreting it correctly. They may be uh, I think they're just not reading it the way that it needs to be read. I feel like might be misinterpreting it cuz that could definitely be like something like
well, and like they said, like they always like in this article multiple times, they kept bringing up, uh, they kept bringing up COD 4,
mm,
where and like everybody was like, that makes no sense. Why are we bringing up COD 4? Because this is not true. And like even a former developer, Infinity Ward, said that that them bringing up COD 4 in implying that there was skill based matchmaking in COD 4 is BS. So there's just a lot of stuff that they're saying that just isn't like their data and what they're saying isn't lining up with the experiences the players are having.
mm, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I feel
I mean,
like
yeah, if they change stuff, like obviously, like what they said in this initial blog really won't matter that much. But like, if they don't change anything and they think that what they got is working, like they're clearly delusional. Like
yeah.
they don't know what they're doing.
Who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows? But um yeah, man. So one last thing, and then we're gonna probably call it on this episode. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Oh, damn, you just sent me like 16 different things. Holy shit. We got season 2 trailer for Modern Warfare 3, continuing on the, Call of Duty. Really exciting things for any Walking Dead fans. They are definitely bringing in Rick Grimes and Michonne from the show. Which
Yeah,
personally, Michonne's my favorite
6 years
character.
too late, but
Whatever. A little too late on that one, but we don't know the fight. We don't know the background information on it. The characters look sick.
All I'm saying is The Walking Dead came out in like 2010 or 2011. Imagine if there would have been a Walking Dead, imagine if there would have been a Black Ops 2 Zombies map with Walking Dead characters.
Oh my god, that would have been epic.
That would have been way crazier than what they're doing right now.
Yeah. I don't know, but the characters look really good though. What I want to do is I want to get the katanas, right? The melee, get Michonne, and run around and just slice and dice everybody. I've been wanting to do that's while watching the show. That's what I wanted to do the most. But now I can do it in a video game, so I don't have to actually harm actual people. Because I always
did you see that too? We're getting a new war map finally.
Yeah, I know.
It's called Operation Tin Man, and Horde Point is back. That's gonna be fun.
Finally, after what fucking months, we're finally getting a second war mode map. Wow.
If we're getting this one in season 2, I bet we get 3 new ones. Probably season 2, season 4, season 6. We probably get new war maps.
Probably. So if you guys are watching right now, this weekend I may or may not have a video coming out about some tips and tricks for war mode if you wanna check it out on the current map. So by the time that this one drops, you can have the other one mastered.
I will say I don't know about the other 6v6 maps, but that Sash House map looks pretty good. I'm excited for Horde Point though. Horde Point will be really fun.
So there's
having,
3
the zombies showing up.
There's 3 new maps. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Plus some Modern Warfare Zombies updates. Alright. Call of Duty. Let's see what they have to say about this. The strong survive, the strongest win. Alright, and more into season 2 of Modern Warfare 3 on February 7th. Funny enough, we have a podcast on that day. So
yeah, that might be a long one.
Yeah, we will definitely go into more of it for you on you've been through it, so
everybody's posting there.
Yeah,
everybody's asking about their stats.
Yeah, Kitty at 1.0. Look at that. Pretty good. Alright. Cool. And I don't think we have anything else to talk about today. I feel like that's pretty much it. I mean, we've definitely gone over the hour mark today.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, we did talk about some pretty important things when it pertains to esports, so, it is what it is. But thank you guys so much for tuning in this episode of the Climb Together podcast. This has been episode number 65. I almost said 56, but it's 65. So if you guys did enjoy it,
coming in there.
Yeah. Anyway, don't gotta talk about that one. Anyway, so if you guys did enjoy the podcast, make sure you follow our Twitch streams, where we stream this podcast live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. EST, unless otherwise stated. If you guys did enjoy and you're watching this on YouTube later on, make sure you like and subscribe, and follow us over on Twitch, and watch it live. Because we really do try to answer questions that people put in the chat or whatever. So and it's always better to experience something live, So yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. Deception say bye.
Bye.
See you guys next time. Peace.